Hi, you guys. Welcome to Coming in Hot with Caroline. We have a very special episode today, and this is a subject I find so important. And honestly, everyone should be having this conversation because if it's not happening to you right now, trust me, it's coming for you. And I think preparation is key and knowledge is power. You guys know that. And today I have very special guests. I have Emma here and Helen. I'm so excited to have you here.
This is so fun.
Thank you for being here. You guys, we really want to talk about Make Time Wellness. And we're going to get into that because, first of all, I love the name. Yeah. Because I think as women, why don't we ever think we can make time? Like, it's like, we don't have time running around like chickens with our heads cut off. And I'm like, make time to take care of yourself. Oh, yeah. Put your oxygen mask on first. You cannot take care of everyone else if you're not feeling good. So as much as we don't prioritize ourselves, you're coming in to tell us how important it is because it's brain, body, beauty. Correct?
In that order. That's
in that order.
Yes.
So Emma, Helen, please, can you, again, just give us a little background on you, obviously, and then we're going to dig real deep.
Okay. Should I go?
Go.
Okay. So my name's Emma Hemming-Willis. Hello. Thank you
We
so
love
much for
you.
having
Yes,
Thank you for
you're
having
here.
us.
Of
This is
course.
so great. What's my background? I started off as a model. I did that for many years. I ended up meeting my husband.
Full.
His name is Bruce.
Yes.
I met him probably in my early 30s and was in sort of the next phase of my life where we had 2 children. We got married. Then we had 2 children. And then I launched this business with Helen called Make Time Wellness. Mm-hmm. And there's so much background, but I'm going to turn it to you.
Just a little so people understand who you are, but we're going to dig very deep
Okay,
in this.
Good.
And I'm Helen Christoni. Emma and I, we met through a mutual girlfriend and we've become great friends. And my background is creating products. I'm a brand developer. I've been doing this for a very long time. And so it's really great to work on a brand like Make Time that really has such purpose and is really making a difference in women's lives because we all do need to make time.
We really do. Yeah. And Emma, I know you kind of started experiencing some brain fog. Let's just kind of get into some symptoms because again, a lot of women are starting to experience, I actually think perimenopause is happening earlier and earlier what it feels like. I feel like we're all living longer, things are affecting us and none of us have been prepared. And I know all mom or women can really understand brain fog. So is that kind of where it started for you? Like when you started kind of digging deep?
That's where it started.
Tell us.
I was experiencing an incredible amount of brain fog and I brought it to my doctor. And I said, I'm just not sharp. Something's not right. I just feel like I'm walking around in a haze, like, help.
Right. How old are you at this point?
Well, it was after I had the girls. I haven't been asked that in a while. 37, I would say, was kind of when it started, like, revving up. And what he kept doing and saying was that, you're stressed out. You're tired. Don't worry. That's going to pass. It could be mommy brain. So he just...
The mommy brain.
So he just kept dismissing and dismissing and dismissing. And it never cleared. It just didn't feel right. So I sought after a brain health specialist.
Wow.
Which I never really knew much about the brain and what brain health is. But this doctor introduced me to that term and introduced me to these pillars of great brain health and how to care for our brains, and had me on this really great sort of regime of vitamins, supplements, and I was taking handfuls multiple times a day, and exercise and sleep and nutrition and all of these things combined helped lift the fog. And then
it really did, Emma.
It really did. It just
goes to show you, because I will be dehydrated all the time. I skip meals. I hardly sleep.
Water is very important as well. We must be. Our brains can get very dehydrated very quickly.
Yeah. So you really started to. You just saw a difference.
I really saw a difference in my energy levels. Just my sharpness was starting to come back. Mm-hmm. And what I'd said to Helen was that I've been on this crusade of we're just learning about my brain and really noticing a difference with all these things that I'm doing. But the supplements I cannot sustain. It is too many all the time, and I'm starting to fall off. I said what I would love to do is...
Oh my God, Emma, see, this is what happens to me. Like,
yes.
I can't take so many, I feel nauseous. It doesn't sit well. Like, I will stop doing it.
And it's hard to sustain, right? Morning, noon, night, and then you got to take your pill packs on the go, and it's a lot. Right. So I said to Helen, I would love to be able to take everything that I'm taking and I wish I could put it into a drink or a gummy or something that just could be easier because I'm so busy like
Right.
most women.
Right.
And Helen was like, that's totally in my wheelhouse. Let's do that.
Of course, Helen's like, I got this.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Business brain steps in.
I think
Thank
that
God.
it was so interesting because I'm like, you know what, we can do this. And so we set out, we really just looked at the ingredients.
So what clicked in you? Were you experiencing, I know that you have family history. So what triggered that conversation for you two?
I actually thought it was a really smart idea to make a drink out of all these supplements. Because, I mean, you just can't be taking all these pills every day. To your point, it's like really gross. Like you're just like handfuls of pills 3 times
And
a
sometimes
day.
you feel like it doesn't even work. It's like if you're not taking them correctly and at the right time of day, it feels like your body's just processing things. But like, is it really doing anything? I don't know.
No. And so it's like you really have to be consistent, and consistency is key. And we wanted to, like, I think my aha moment was when I really started doing just some desktop research, and no one was having this conversation with women. When you look at the brain health aisle, it looks like male performance enhancement. It's like, that's really what it looks like. And no one was having this specific conversation with women. And then as we started learning and really kind of digging into it, that's when I learned that 1 in 5 women will get Alzheimer's. And that's compared to 1 in 10 men. So women are twice at risk than men. And no one was talking about it. And we were like, I was like, wow.
Do you know, I used to think it was the complete opposite. No.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. No.
Most
So it's
people,
more women are more like
risk.
what?
yes, and it's because of all of our hormonal fluctuation. It's because of estrogen. Estrogen plays a key role in our brain health, and also because things like we don't make time and we're always putting ourselves last. We're not putting the oxygen mask on, as you say. Emma and I really set out to make this drink. And we were like, you know, we're not going to stop at brain health. We're going to do brain, body, and beauty. So
Why in that order, guys?
our mission at Make Time Wellness is to get the world talking seriously about women's brain health. And we're taking so many things anyway. And so if women replace, we added beauty in there because women are taking their beauty supplements. It's so with ours, you get your brain, your body, and your beauty too. We're all in one.
Right.
And so you check the boxes. With
And
Make
our
Time.
brain is like our most beautiful and important asset. I mean,
Do you
really.
know that once, truly, there was a young girl asking me something, and I was like, you realize that the most expensive thing that you own is your brain.
100%.
Literally, we don't even think. And I'm like, that's what you should be taking care of the most. That's your most expensive thing that you own.
Yeah, I mean, and now when I think of the rest of my body, I always start with brain health first. How have I looked after my brain today? Because when I do, the rest of my body benefits, right? So we're talking exercise, which is great for your brain, but also really great for your heart, right? And there's all these things that we do that we concentrate on different parts of our body, but really the focus should be our brain. Yeah. And then the rest of your body benefits.
And so what did you learn when you actually went to speak to this doctor, and he kind of, and you were taking all of these supplements, and you're like, okay, let's create, what was the research you were finding? What were you most surprised about besides that 1 out of 5 women? Obviously, that to me is shocking.
Yeah. And
what
then
else was in there that you were kind of like, I need to tackle this? What was that from both of you?
Well, I mean, really, no one is talking to women about their brains. That when you go to your doctor, when was the last time someone spoke to you about your brain?
Never.
That's the thing. And I think that was what was so interesting to me. And especially when I was working with this brain health doctor, introducing me to a concept that I'd never heard before. And I think I'm pretty up to speed on wellness, but brain health was just something I knew that if I hadn't heard of it, I knew that there was plenty of other women that didn't even know what that meant, how to care for their brains. But the fact is that it's not as difficult as we might think.
It's we hear
very
gut health
accessible.
now, right? Now everything is gut health.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now the next step, we want to label it brain health. I feel like that's the next thing that we really have to focus
Our
on.
gut is our second brain, right? So again, if you're caring for your brain, you're also caring for your gut and vice versa.
What are the steps that women should take? If we're just going to, what are the things that you learned?
So
And what's in this drink? I'm going to be chugging it the second I walk out of here.
I think that you start losing your short-term memory at the age of 30.
What?
And
30?
thank you. We learned that too. And
You were so screwed, you guys.
I know.
now it's a joke. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my short-term memory that I don't have anymore, But I mean, the good news is that this is something that we shouldn't wait. This is something the earlier the better. We should be taking care of our brains early. And prevention. You always say this: prevention is better than cure. And so it's
so true.
It's so important that if we just, as women, start talking about it, people will know about it. And then we can dig into the drink a little bit. The drink has an ingredient called cognizant in it. It's nootropic. It's been studied on women, and it helps with your focus, your attention. It's clinically proven to support your brain health. So we really have this beautiful ingredient in it that's been studied on women. That was so important to Emma and me. Then we loaded it with curcumin, and that's a really traditionally used anti-inflammatory, and it really helps with inflammation in the body, and that's really important for your brain health too. It's also super antioxidant. We have MCT oil in it for energy.
I've been taking that in my coffee.
Oh, yeah, great.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
good.
very
So
good.
Very good. Okay.
A women's multivitamin. It has biotin in it for beauty, some green tea for a little kick, and it's basically like our girl tang. It's like a natural girl tang. So it's really good. You just put a scoop in your water, and then you're good.
And then you're good. You drink it once a day.
Once a day.
Once a day.
What?
I like it on ice. Or you can also put it into a smoothie. I
You
do that as
can.
well. I just a scoop in a smoothie. That works. Like
That
a
is
tropical kind of smoothie because
Yeah.
the base of it is orange.
Yeah.
And it's delicious and it's easy to get down and it's pleasant, right? It tastes great.
So it's easy. Take it in the morning. And what's the difference that you started to see from taking this?
I mean, I always call it my go-go juice, right? I mean, we have a lot going on. We're always on, like I was saying earlier, I'm in Zooms all day, meetings all day long, and it really helps me stay on top of my game. And also, I have to say, super athletic. I do a lot of running, and just the recovery is better for me. And so I think that it's just checks all the boxes. And it really delivers, sharp focus. I know I'm doing something good for my brain health. My multis are covered and it's easy.
Yeah, and consistency is always key, right?
It's consistency.
At least you're not doing multiple times a day. You're doing a drink.
Right.
And you can throw it into, your water bottle and be on the go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, easy.
Yeah.
That's I feel like there's no excuse. And I think that's why when we joke around about getting up and getting dressed, it's always keep it simple so you do it.
Yeah.
I think when we overcomplicate things, that is when we eventually just give up because we don't want to make the effort.
That's what we try. We don't try to be we're not complicated at Make Time Wellness.
Right.
We just try to keep it very, very simple. We're talking to women. Women are coming to us who've never heard of brain health. So we keep it very simple because, that's how I can digest information if it gets too sciencey and crazy, which we can go there.
Right.
But we don't want to.
I feel
let's just keep
unfortunately,
it
I think
simple.
with most women, it's again, you don't really understand. So, and it becomes complicated and you don't want to deal. So I think simplicity is key. I think we don't give enough credit to simple and easy. Sometimes, slow and steady wins the race
That's
too.
right.
So it's
That's right.
consistency and understanding how good it is for you. You guys, so what is there, I know you both have experience obviously with Alzheimer's, and I think it's an important conversation because I really knew nothing about it until my dad was diagnosed. That's the truth. It is, why this is such an important conversation with me. And I really started talking about it during COVID because I was feeling all the feels. My dad was locked away alone, didn't see any of us for almost a year. It was brutal. My mom, the decline was insane from them being separated. It was really scary. And it's not something that I understood. I didn't understand the responsibilities and what goes into it. I know you guys have a lot of experience with this. Can you talk a little bit about both of your stories? Because I know a lot of people know Bruce's story, but I don't think people talk about caretakers enough.
Yeah,
and the job that we take on by, obviously it's a privilege.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever take that away. It is a privilege to be able to support someone you love. But I talk about this daily because I have a lot of followers who are caring for their parents or for someone. And a lot of what they say is, they're just some days are so brutal and it's just so hard and you don't want to get up and you don't want to get dressed and you don't want to keep going. But we're all going through a lot. And I think talking about it is key. and knowing you're not alone and that there is help out there and there is prevention. That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. We're seeing the people we love suffer.
Sure.
You're trying to get to the bottom of it. Can you tell us a little bit about whatever you're comfortable telling us about Bruce's story?
Yeah. So Bruce was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, which affects the front part and the temporal lobes. There's 3 different variants of FTD, one that affects language, behavior, or movement. So for Bruce, it affected his language, which is called FTD PPA, or primary progressive aphasia. So for him, like sort of those early signs or symptoms was language, right? Like he had a severe stutter when he was a child, and I started noticing that come back.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And then, over time, it was just like our communication seemed off. And really what was happening was that a part of his brain was, in essence, being like dismantled.
Right?
Yeah. Deteriorating, degenerating from this disease.
Right.
But, what I say is that FTD doesn't scream. It whispers. It's very subtle. It is different to Alzheimer's disease.
It is different? Emma, can you explain that? Because I kind of thought they were similar. But...
No, because it affects a completely different part of the brain. Oh, okay. And the brain is so much more than just memory, right? So the frontal part is sort of your behavior, how you show up in the world, how if you have empathy for someone. Your temporal lobes is communication and language. And with Alzheimer's, it affects, I want to say, the hippocampus, and that's where your memories are stored. So when people say like, oh, does Bruce remember you? Yes, he does, because he doesn't have Alzheimer's. He has FTD. So that's why it's like so important to understand that when people hear the word dementia, they automatically think of Alzheimer's.
They do, honestly.
Because it's the most common, of course. I think 80% of cases are Alzheimer's, but there are 20% of other types of dementia. And there's 120 other types of dementia.
120?
Yeah. Yes, there is. It's wild.
Why is no one talking about this?
No one is.
Wait, what?
This is exactly why we're here. And Alzheimer's really shows up differently. Like my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and signs that you can see are confusion, a little bit of stress because they're not remembering what they're supposed to be doing, and that really creates a lot of stress and confusion. Simple things like directions, like they ask over and over and over and over again on repeat about directions, and then slowly their memories slip away. And my grandmother, the last time I saw her, she had no idea who I was, but she knew she was supposed to brush my hair. Because I was her only girl. I was the only girl in the family. And it had a profound effect on me. And then also I had my mother-in-law more recently who had another type of FTD. It's called PST. It's PSP. It's phytosupernuclear palsy that affects movement. And hers showed up as like she had to get a knee replacement. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't really her knee. It just turned into her just inability to use her motor functions and operate her body. And I didn't even really, and the scary thing, I think, which was really impactful on me, on us, on the brand, is I was at an event with Emma after she passed. And I was connecting the dots that was the type of dementia that she had, like after the fact, because there was just such little information because no one's talking to us about our brain health.
Literally. I'm just like, you've named things that I've never heard of.
I know,
I'm like, I mean, because really all you hear is dementia and Alzheimer's, and you think it's the same thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And even with my dad, I have to say, like, we did not get a lot of information. It wasn't like you the doctors really help you see, they kind of just slap a Band-Aid on it and tell you to go home. And...
Well, the issue is that there's no cure. When Bruce was diagnosed, we left that doctor's appointment with nothing. No hope, no guidance, no roadmap, just to check back in a couple of months.
And Emma, so you started to notice, like, obviously the language, and then was there something else that you were like, we're going to the doctor?
It was mostly the language and just things. There just becomes a point where I think it's really important where you know your gut, you know your person, you know something's right. Yeah. And sometimes if your person isn't raising their hand that something is wrong, that you need to figure out how to get them to the doctor.
Yeah.
I think that is really important.
Like you need to advocate it's like when you see something, say something.
Yeah.
It even goes to something as simple as this, right?
I didn't know how to advocate. prior to any of this, in the sense of like, you know, for my husband, in terms of his doctor was his doctor, was my doctor.
Right.
And I didn't know if that was okay. It just, there's something about it that didn't feel right to me, to go over his head to talk to his doctor, but it was important. And I'm so happy that I did, because it's important to get to the bottom of things as quickly as we can so that we can get the right support into place.
And when people avoid, and you don't realize that it's like the early detection is everything in any case of any disease, I
Absolutely.
think. Right?
I mean, especially even for FTD, people are getting misdiagnosed so late, or they're getting misdiagnosed with bipolar, depression, midlife crisis. And obviously that is a big issue, because that is not what it is.
They're not getting the help they need.
They're not getting the help they need.
Right.
So, you know, we want people to, the awareness piece is so important. We want people to get to their doctor, get diagnosed sooner, so that they can get into clinical trials that are there.
Right.
We just don't have enough people to get into these trials, which
is crazy.
I know. So,
what were the next steps after how was he diagnosed? Was he diagnosed in that first, like, was the doctor like, okay, something's off? Or did you have to go through a bunch of
it
tests?
was a whole
Right? Yeah.
rigmarole.
Right.
It took a long time to kind of get to when we got that diagnosis. By the time we got to the diagnosis, the world's already fallen apart. Right? I mean, that is how long it took for us to get there. And leaving that appointment with no support, no nothing, it was a really traumatic experience, where then I had to sort of figure out, okay, well, what are the next steps?
And like, what are you supposed to do?
You know, what support do I need? And I went into the World Wide Web to sort of figure out who can help and what is FTD and what does that look like over time. And from that experience came the unexpected journey.
Exactly.
Where I was able to...
Wait, you guys, let's show the book for everybody.
You know, in this book, it's parts of my personal story as a care partner to my husband. What's most important about it is the 25 experts and specialists that I surrounded our family with, that I was able to bring into this book. And the book is all about how to care for the caregiver. Yeah. And they really helped me. And I knew that others, you know, caregivers don't have the time, the energy, access, sometimes resources to be able to go figure all of this out.
Yes.
So I knew how unsupported caregivers are, because I was so unsupported until I was able to put the support around us. And I knew I was sitting on valuable information, and that is where this book came from.
Is there anything that you would say is essential if someone right now is facing, like, truly, it's those beginning stages, you're feeling very alone? I remember that phone call, and my hands were shaking. Like, I honestly was like, what am I supposed to do? Are there any suggestions, top 3, or what, you know, that you would suggest great first steps to take of who to contact? Obviously buy your book, because I feel like there's sometimes just reading things can make you feel like you're not alone, but you would recommend.
I would say, one, to know that there is support out there, and you might walk away from that doctor's appointment feeling like there is absolutely no support, and that is not true. What is really important is that if you land on a diagnosis, whatever that might be, if it's Lewy body, if it's Alzheimer's, if it's FTD, the first step is go to that organization or association. So for us, it's the AFTD, which is the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration. And you go onto that website, and it's just a wealth of information and resources there, and support groups. So let's say someone is diagnosed with Lewy body, find that organization, and that will open up to resources and support that you need. Because unfortunately, sometimes we are not getting that at our neurologist's office, at our doctor's office. It then is turned over to us to figure out another thing of how to support ourselves.
And how overwhelming that can feel.
It is
when
so
you already have so much on your
overwhelming.
plate,
Exactly.
You've got kids at home, like you already feel like you don't have enough bandwidth. And the next thing you know, now you're dealing with this, and now you need to be a doctor. I mean, literally.
You do. You become a doctor. You have your eyes and ears on everything, and then you take notes and report back to the doctor. And, you know, it's a lot. It is a lot to put on to a caregiver. But this is what we do. We get thrusted into this without any knowledge. We learn so much on the fly. But, you know, as we said when we sat down, it's like we are remarkable humans.
We were just sitting here before the cameras went on. It's true. And we were just saying that, like, sometimes I literally think it's just incredible what women can accomplish
what we can do
daily. Like, it really blows my mind how strong we are.
Yeah.
And it's like you wonder why most caretakers are women. Honestly, not that there aren't incredible male caretakers, but it's an interesting function of our nurturing and our bandwidth of what we can withstand. Are there any important questions that you would ask if like somebody was going to be going to that first appointment? Are there any essentials, or even Helen, any essential questions to ask for that first appointment if someone's just
showing
scared,
signs?
showing signs?
You
Is
know,
there anything you wish you had asked or figured out, like when you brought Bruce in? Is there anything that's important, or just go in with 100
I
questions?
think listen, I think signs and symptoms and how it's playing out in your person can be so different. But what I would say is that just write down what you're noticing so that when you go into that doctor's appointment, that this is what I'm seeing. This is what, they're asking me for directions all the time, or communication's not right. Have a list. Just be prepared so that you can really tell them what's happening. And sometimes your doctor will dismiss you. And if that is the case, you need to find another doctor.
Keep looking, right? Until you find your people.
You have
like
to find
we
your
say.
people, and you have to get to answers, because you know your person better than anyone else. And if you know that something's not right, you need to follow the trail to figure out who is going to listen to you.
Oh my God, that's but you got to do it.
Ah.
And now, guys, I want to talk about prevention, because that's something now that I honestly, I can be brutally honest and say it's not something I really thought about until watching my own mother's demise. Like watching my dad was one thing, and I wasn't as close to him growing up. It was tough growing up, and I'm much closer to my mom, kind of a mama's girl. And it's funny now having her living under my roof and watching it. I think sometimes the stress on the caregiver can be watching your own demise, watching that aging process firsthand, kind of watching the end. Really, I can find really stressful sometimes, and kind of makes me worry and think about things that maybe I don't want to be anxious and worry about at the time. So talking about prevention, I now am like, what do I need to, I'm taking the MCT oil. Like I'm really starting to try to I don't want to forget, I'm starting to forget things. Like I feel the brain fog, and sometimes I'm like, I'm just exhausted, but you start to fear, you're starting to hear of people having like early onset dementia, and you're like, wait, what? Guys, let's talk prevention, please. Tell me everything we need to do.
So I think,
save me.
I mean, this is me, this is us, this is all women, this is you. I mean, we're all kind of in this together, right? And I think that it's so important. Emma and I at Make Time, we're always talking about the pillars of brain health. And one of the most important ones is sleep. So making time to really prioritize your sleep and your sleep hygiene is really number one. I mean, get yourself an Oura ring or a tracker or something. Start to learn about what happens to your body if you're not getting the right sleep. And then you'll be like locked in, and
what's considered good sleep? I have that mattress now, the 8 Sleep.
Oh, I love 8 Sleep. I'm obsessed with that
I'm
one.
obsessed. I look at
it.
my thing every morning, and I'm
nice.
like just trying, because I'm really just trying to understand, because I always think like maybe I just don't sleep well. And it is kind of showing me that my REM sleep isn't very good. Like I don't think I get deep sleep. And I think as becoming a mom, the dogs, everything, I hear everything. What is considered good sleep?
7 to 8 hours.
Okay.
Is good sleep. 8 hours preferably. This is one of the things that I do, is I'm always trying to fight for my best night's sleep.
Okay.
Because it sets you up for success.
Yeah.
I mean, that if you're not sleeping well, it's you are going to wake up foggy and not feeling right.
Right.
When you sleep, you're throwing the trash out in your brain so that it can wake up and be replenished. So 8 hours is.
I love that. It's that throwing the trash out.
Yeah.
It's resting and releasing.
Exactly right.
Okay.
So 8 hours is golden. Also nutrition, supplementation is really important. Exercise is important. Another really incredible pillar is connection, being together. We always say at Make Time, like grab a friend, go for a walk, talk about your problems. That's so great for your brain health.
And also, I think it's super important when when you're stressed and you're maxed and you've got too much going on, you really have to acknowledge that your brain is maxed and give yourself brain breaks. That's one of the reasons we called Make Time Wellness, Make Time. So women can make time for things that just give them some peace, whether it's making time to read a book, calling a girlfriend. Emma loves to garden.
Yeah,
my husband loves to garden. He said it's very relaxing to him, for whatever reason.
That's like my meditation. I think this idea of like self-care, I don't like the word. I don't understand it anymore. I think that it's been so overused, hence why we named make time. Because what I think is that when you make time for something, it's making time for something that feeds your soul. So for me, it could just be just to get out for 10 minutes and go for a walk. It could be getting into the garden and weeding and planting and killing something and then replanting that,
Yep.
So that for me is feeding my soul. That is what I'm making time for, as opposed to this idea of like self-care. I mean, we talk about it just being so taken over by the beauty industry at this
It's so
point.
true. And it's so true about making time. It's like you make time for what's important to you.
Yeah,
Like they say, a
absolutely.
guy calls if he wants to, right? At the end of the day. So it's like if it's important to you, like for me, it's like I get up 10 minutes earlier because I know it sets me up for success to have 10 minutes in the sun. That's like a thing for me. I love to sit outside, put my face in the sun, a little gratitude. It takes you such a long way in the morning just to set you up for success.
Well, that's you making time. I mean, that is
Right.
exactly it. That is it.
That's
it.
it.
And if that was all you did that day, you have made time for something. I mean, because that is the thing with caregiving, right? We have very little time to care for ourselves. So, this idea that it has to be big, no, sometimes it can just be minutes. But it's
like one lap around the block could be medicine.
Yeah.
Right? Helen, tell the truth. Like even just, I know it's not like, you might not lose weight from it, but like, I'm saying how some people are thinking, oh, I want to lose, but like it's still medicine for you. Yeah.
Let's just double click on that for a minute,
let's do
because
it.
so many people are like, oh, get your 10,000 steps a day and like we need to do this. And actually, if you are getting 3,800 steps a day, which is really manageable, it reduces your risk of Alzheimer's by like 25%. So just 3,800, I think making it
Wait, say that again, because that might be the best stat I've ever heard.
all right, really. Like I just
seriously,
was
I
talking
think
about
most
this the other
women, it's like, again, we make things such a big deal, like
Oh my God.
overdo it. And it's like,
3,800 steps will go dividends with your brain health. And if we're not going to get 10,000 steps and we're like, oh my gosh, I have like 1,700 steps, forget it. But like you can get from 1,700 to 3,800 pretty easily. Like you're
like
not
run
gonna,
up and down your stairs in your house.
So-
Literally, my mom does. I make her do laps around the backyard. Just moves her body.
And also, it doesn't have to necessarily be a thing. It could be just making time for things that are on your list. Like my favorite thing to make time for is just spending some time in my closet. And it gives
Girl
me
after my
such,
own heart.
I mean, really.
I'm joking.
I just spend a few minutes in there and it's like, it's my alone time. I can mess with my things, organize a little, get inspired. It doesn't have to be some big thing. Like Emma was saying, self-care has really been, it's like almost a job now. You need to get your nails done. You need to get your hair done. You need to do all the things. It's something.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting, and
It's so true.
and making time is more really,
It's so true because for me, we joke a lot, but when you build the platform, it really was built from my dad's diagnosis. It really was, and having to watch my mom fall apart and have no support and no help, and realizing I just don't ever want to end up that way. I need to take control. And we can keep pointing the fingers, we can keep blaming everyone else, but at some point you have to take your power and do what's right for you. And so that's that moment that I was like, I'm going to get up and get dressed, because for me, that's where I make time. I feel good when I feel put together, when I have 10 minutes to myself, a little gratitude. I'm ready for the day. I can tackle things when I feel good here.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that women forget about, that. And it's 1 minute here. I do the vibration plate for 10 minutes and I already feel like I've done something and I already feel better. And it's like, why aren't we taking this time, especially at a younger age? I think sometimes it's a little too late sometimes when we figure this out. And I kind of wish I had woken up sooner. I'm grateful I did it all. That I woke up from that, zombie-like living. But a lot of women are still living in that. And it's like, how do we wake up sooner, earlier? Is there a time that people should be starting? Is this like even teens should be focusing on this? Like,
for sure.
What do you guys suggest for like the women listening out there?
I think that it's important. I have a brain healthy lifestyle that my kids see.
Yeah.
So, I think it's important that they are seeing me and how I care for my brain, which then allows them to, in a very sort of simple, easy way. The sooner the better. And it's never late to start.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Can you turn it around, you guys? Like, not once you have onset, right?
Yeah.
Like once it really hits.
Again, prevention is better than cure. And what they say now, when you are implementing the pillars of brain health.
What are the pillars again? Say it one more time.
Okay, so you've got sleep, nutrition, including supplementation. You've got exercise. You have mental stimulation and connection.
connection.
Very important.
Yeah.
The loneliness can get you, right?
Yeah.
That when you are really working these, they say that up to 40% of cases can be prevented, if not delayed. And that there's a beauty in that, because what we want is that, let's say you can't reverse it, but at least you can stall it.
Yes.
So that you hope that medicine,
Something.
science will
Right.
come along to be able
Right.
to give you that magic pill
Right.
that cures.
And women are so powerful, right? We really repeat the 1 in 5 statistic, so women will start talking about it, because if we all start talking about it, we all start thinking about it, we can do something about it. We often compare it to the 1 in 8 statistic for breast cancer. It's
Yep.
October and
Yes,
think
it is.
everything's pink.
Yes, it is.
You know, and we're talking about our breasts. We're talking about our mammograms. We're
Yes, we are. I'm like adamant about telling people to get it.
Me
You're
Yes,
right.
and
too.
so we are more at risk for Alzheimer's, and we need to start all talking about women's brain
We are
health.
more at risk for Alzheimer's than for breast cancer.
right.
Yes.
And that's all we hear about.
That's right. And it's important, right? Like
Of course
I come
it's
from a
important.
chain
Of
of
course.
women who
Yes.
have had breast cancer. So I have been having
100%.
mammograms
Yes,
since I
get
was
your
37
mammogram.
years old.
Yes.
I'm really up on it. But but that is the beauty of women. When we come together and we talk, we're so powerful. And if we can do that for breast cancer, we would love to see that done for brain health.
Absolutely. And you guys, can we talk about nutrition for a second?
Yeah.
Can you give us the tips of those who, again, I want to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Those are at home and are watching this and they're like, that's it. I'm getting my shit together. Okay, I'm going to be exercising. I'm going to be, the pillars. What is the nutrition pillar? What does it consist of?
So omegas are very important, fatty acids. So like fish, oily fish.
If you don't like fish, is that just taking the supplement?
You can take a supplement would be
Is at least something.
An omega is
Yeah.
an important thing
Supplement.
for our brain that
Okay.
we should be taking. Leafy greens, nuts, seeds.
Avocados. Always make sure you have something green on your plate. Super important.
There's a really great cookbook called The Brain Health Kitchen by Annie Fenn, who has delicious, beautiful, brain healthy recipes that are
Really?
really delicious and yummy. So anytime I'm looking for a cookbook, I always look for brain health cookbooks.
Yeah. If you're going to
brain
eat, you
health.
might as well throw something in that's good for you. I mean,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we're thinking about it.
And it's also, it's frequently very tied into Mediterranean diets. And that's very functional. There's a lot of blue zones also all over the world, but in
I love
the
that documentary.
Mediterranean.
I watched it
yeah,
like
that's-
every
isn't that
year I
great?
watch it to like get re-inspired.
Yes.
Sure.
Of like and it shows you, it's the 5 pillars, by the way.
But that is
It's
it.
exactly
I know.
it.
That's that.
Literally, you watch the documentary and I'm like, it just clicked. And I'm like,
Yes.
it's literally what everyone is talking about, yet nobody does it.
That's right.
Well, we can make our own blue zones.
We can,
if we
right?
think about it. So, it's just
I'm
living.
making my house into a blue zone.
It's living that lifestyle. And when you start putting these principles, when you start making time, when you start thinking about it, you really see how it helps. And of course, we all have these seasons where we get like a little turned up. There's no time where we're not
You
abiding.
can fall off the wagon.
You
Yeah,
fall off the
of
wagon, but
course,
it's
but you just pick
okay
it back up.
because you're like, oh my God, I have to get back on the wagon,
Yeah.
right? We need to be making time to prioritize our sleep, our connection, our nutrition, our exercise, all the things. Super
Because
important.
brain health and the lifestyle, it's not something that you start in January and then you go off in March. This is a lifestyle. This is what you should be doing all the time, but it shouldn't be rigorous. It should be enjoyable.
What do you guys think about alcohol?
Well,
Truth. I cut
Yeah.
it out for a year. I've never felt better.
yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I was like, it's kind of toxic. And not to say I don't like my Aperol spritz here and there.
Yeah.
But it's really funny that I do not crave alcohol, or it's not my good time anymore.
Probably for the best, because alcohol is not great for us. But I will say that I do love a glass of wine, or if I go and have...
Is the red wine still good? Like, how does it connect to the brain health? Is it not good for us?
It's just that
technically?
there's sugar in it, and sugar is not good for our brain. It's
It's sugar is really not good.
It also creates a lot of inflammation. And so it's just not great for our brain health.
even red wine, which is so sad.
Yeah.
But I'll have it. But listen, I want to also enjoy my
All
life.
things in moderation.
All things in moderation,
Yeah.
which again, I think is a pillar. Moderation, right? And how is Bruce doing now? I'm sure everybody would love to just know. And how is the day-to-day being a caretaker, Emma? Like, how are you doing? How are you holding up?
I think all things, thank you for asking. There's a lot that the caregiver takes on. But I think for Bruce, I think he's doing the best that he can with a really unkind disease.
Yeah.
And I think for myself and our 2 young girls, I think that we have the right support in place. And I think we are learning how to care for ourselves.
Yeah.
Or for me, I'm definitely realizing the importance of that. It's okay for me to put myself on the top of that list.
Absolutely.
So that I can sustain this journey of care that I want to for my husband.
Absolutely. And I say this from the bottom of my heart because there are some days that you can feel a little selfish when I take time for myself in the morning or I want to get ready. And I was like, that is just my oxygen so that I can take care of everyone. I was like, I have to feel good so that I can sustain the amount of work I have to do every day.
For
and
sure.
I think, we forget that we have to, it's a lot.
What I would also want to say is that caregiving is not a solo mission. I think that everyone thinks that we, and myself included, it's only us. We're the only ones that can take care of our people, no one else. We don't want to bring anyone else in. But in order to sustain this journey as well, you do need to bring in support, whatever that might look like, family, friends.
It's not selfish to get help.
No, I mean, it's in order to sustain it, it is absolutely vital. And just to get this idea out of our heads that, that it's only us that can do it. It's not true. We need to really be able to bring in more support.
I mean, we're supposed to be a village.
Yeah,
we are.
Right?
It's
I mean,
really
I think
about
we've
community.
forgotten what community and village and actually caring for each other is. It makes me so sad because you really try to have hope and optimism and try to see the good in people, on the day to day, but it is really hard. And I hope that we can keep opening that conversation because again, I do think knowledge is power. And when you're set up for success, at least you know how to deal. And if you're dealing from a good place, it's a little bit easier. What do you guys want to see from Make Time Wellness? Like what's coming up? What's next? What's the vision?
Oh, we have a lot going on.
Tell us, Helen. Give us the secrets.
We are so busy. But really, Make Time is a movement. And our movement is to get the world talking seriously about women's brain health. And we do it through community, through getting together on podcasts like this. And I think that as we continue to grow, we'll be making time for a lot of things. This is a beautiful conversation to have with women. I mean, purpose has really found Emma and I, and we like to make time and have it be fun.
It'd be great to have like a little, like a TV party, like a show night and have the drinks. It's just like bringing it in so it becomes normal for people. We don't talk enough, but sometimes when you have it sitting out and everyone's having it, it just gets that conversation going. And I really hope more women start talking about this.
Yes,
I really do.
too.
And I'm like, because it's like your parents, things are coming and it might not be your partner, it might not, but you just never know.
No, you don't. I think also with care, it's that we will care for someone in our lives or we might need care. So these are important conversations to be had.
Because it could be you.
Yeah.
It's
Which is
everybody.
terrifying, you guys.
I
I know.
know,
This is
but
like,
that's
it's like
why
you're
we have-
watching it and it's scary.
Yeah, but it's why we have these conversations.
Yeah.
It's so important to not try and go into it blind because so many of us do because we don't want to
really
talk
do.
about it.
Yes.
And it's everybody's story. This touches everybody and it will touch everyone. And it doesn't have to be scary. Making time can be fun. And that's the whole root of Make Time
Make it a
Wellness.
routine so it's part of your everyday
100%.
life and it's a lifestyle. That's the point.
Yeah.
Where can everyone find you?
MakeTimeWellness.com.
That's right. Yeah.
And you guys, please, The Unexpected Journey, if you guys have not read this, if you are going through this hard time, if you're kind of seeing the signs or you're just curious about it, pick this up, read about it. It's really good to feel like you're not alone. I can promise you that. Coming from someone with experience, I don't want to get emotional, but it's like I already feel like a kindred just because no one understands. I can't tell you. No one asks me if I'm okay, and no one ever understands how hard it is. I know what you're going through, and I am so grateful to have you here. I'm
Thank
grateful
you.
for this conversation. Helen, thank you for all the work you're doing.
Yeah.
This is really important. It gives me hope
Yes.
that maybe we won't face these same struggles. I'm like, I don't want my kids to suffer.
I know.
Honestly, I watch
It's
it and
so
I'm like,
true.
God, but I'm fortunate and I'm grateful that they're watching me care. And that hopefully more generations will care for each other. And we all show that we just don't dump people off, that sometimes it is hard, but hopefully we bring that family back.
Yes.
That's right.
And that
I
care
love
back.
that.
Thank you for being here,
Thanks
Emma,
for
Helen.
having
I really
us.
love having you here. I really appreciate it.
It's a great
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank you. It was a great
Caroline.
conversation. Thank you. Make Time Wellness, you guys. Look out for it. I'm going to be chugging it daily, so get ready, okay? You guys, we will be back next week with another episode of Coming in Hot. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please press the follow button, leave a review, any comments. We really, really appreciate you, and we wish you all the very best. Don't forget to get up and get dressed. You are important too. Bye.